On the flip side of things, we have the release of Venom 2. Let There Be Carnage. Sony flexing a little bit of box office muscle and trying to see if they can either hit lightning in a bottle twice or hit the jackpot twice, whatever terminology you want to use for this attempt at getting some good box office return on this character that may or may not be a little bit washed at this point in terms of interest and everything like that. I know you were in the theater to see this on release day. You went to see it night one?
Like night 2 or 3 on the weekend. Yeah.
Okay. So before we get into your review, what was the crowd turnout for Venom 2?
The crowd, it was pretty good. The theater was fairly packed.
Mm-hmm.
From the crowd reactions, people were enjoying the film throughout the film, and I'd have to say it reminded me of like the pre-pandemic era when I was watching this
Okay.
movie.
And,
So
and I mean,
that was a bonus. That was a plus.
I respect that. I like that. So let's get let's get right into it here, man. Let's get right down to business here. We
All
had a
right.
discussion. We had a discussion about what this movie was going to be capable of doing. I fall into the camp that Venom 1 was not a good movie per se. It was good for what they were trying to accomplish. I didn't think that they could go back to the well twice. So, in your opinion, good sir, what did we get with Venom 2?
All right. So Venom 2. A little background on me. It's a big time Spider-Man fan. I'm a Spider-Man aficionado type. So Venom, the first film, I did not like it at all. I did not enjoy it. I fucking hated it. It was a trash film for me. I think I give like a 5 out of 10. I have no desire to see that film ever again. Um, I didn't care for the Jim Carrey mask meets Spawn aspect of it. Like I just wasn't rocking with it. But I thought it was for Sony to be able to make a Venom movie without Spider-Man or Peter Parker and make over almost $1 billion in the box office. You got to give him props for the attempt and being successful at it. So
they put their nuts right on the table, dog. Right on the table, dog.
oh man, they did. So we got Venom 2. Let there be Carnage. They casted Woody Harrelson as Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage. They got Andy Serkis to direct this. And I gotta say, this is an hour and a half movie, and Andy Serkis does not want to waste anyone's time with this film. He got right to the point. He got you in, he got you out. There is no real plot to this film. There is no real depth to these characters. There is no real sense of like I don't know, man. There's like this is cheesecake film, man. This is a cheesecake film. And the audience, they know you want it for the cheesecake. So this time they kind of trim off some of the fat. They know you want to see Tom Hardy react in funny ways with the symbiote. You know, it's the Tom Hardy symbiote show. You know, it's a 2-man comedy special, like a sitcom almost, and they get you in and out. I thought that I never thought in my lifetime I would see Venom on a big screen entering a rave with glow stick rave lights, necklaces, and wristbands around him, walking around in a rave, going on stage and saying that he's better off without Eddie Brock, and that
Okay.
I can be myself, and dropping the mic and everyone cheering him.
All
Like,
right. Now, can I say one thing though?
go ahead, man.
The one thing that I'm gonna say is that as corny as that sounds, and as corny as that sounds, I do want to say that that is a lot better than I will eat your brains. That's a lot better than the lethal protector. You know what I'm saying? Eddie
Right.
Brock, like that's to me, I'm not saying it captures the essence of what Venom is
Uh
because
huh.
without Spider-Man, Venom is not interesting at all. But I do like that they at least tried to make this fun and acknowledge that, yeah, this is fucking corny, but it is what it is. So he says, I don't need Eddie Brock.
To that extent, it's a break. The first half of the film is like a breakup, so to speak. The symbiote is ruining Eddie Brock's life, and he feels like he needs a break, or he doesn't need the symbiote anymore. He feels like I can't live a normal life. You know, that whole heroic thing. Like, I'm done. I don't need you anymore. And the symbiote breaks up with him and goes to possess other people. Meanwhile, we have Cletus Cassidy being sentenced to death for his crimes in the past, and he requests Eddie Brock to interview him. He leaves some clues for him to solve, to find the bodies that he hid when he killed people as a serial killer. And the symbiote, while they were still together, Venom figures out the clues, and they uncover the bodies, and Cletus Cassidy sentenced to death in jail. We get a little backstory that while he was a teenager or whatever, he fell in love with this mental patient, Shriek, played by Naomi Harris, who you know from the James Bond series and the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, man. Very, very good. That's what you call double dipping at the box office.
Yes, sir. She double dipped, and I'm glad she did, man, getting that money. So yeah, she's a love interest, and they take her away from the mental ward that they were at. They put her in Ravencroft, and basically, the long story short, Eddie gets triggered by something Cletus says. He kind of strangles him a little bit. Cletus bites at his finger. Some blood drips off his finger onto Cassidy's mouth, and there we get the birth of the symbiote Carnage onto Cletus Cassidy. So Cletus breaks out of the cell when he's about to get killed, and it's just he's killing people. It's PG-13, so you don't actually see nothing too lethal, but everything's insinuated and everything's like, oh my gosh, this is shocking for PG-13, so to speak. He literally starts like a jailbreak in the cells, and the prisoners are rooting for him as he's killing security guards, and he's unlocking jail cells, and he's just as the Carnage symbiote. Yeah, long story short, man, at the end of the film, basically Cletus wants to marry Shriek. They're in his wedding. There's a whole, this thing definitely appeals to a demographic. You got Shriek in a black goth wedding dress, Cletus Cassidy in like a red suit, and the visuals. We get the callback to Spider-Man 3. They're in a church. The finale takes place in a church. They fight each other off. Shriek has the powers of like Black Canary. Eventually, eventually the Carnage symbiote gets attacked by Shriek because he pisses Shriek off, whatever. They're not a compatible duo. Like, they don't have teamwork. So that's why Eddie and Venom beat Carnage and Cletus, because they have teamwork and those two don't. And basically, spoiler alert, they kill Cletus. Venom eats him.
Oh my goodness. So, okay. So with this,
I'm trying to rush through it as much as possible because there really is nothing much to this film. It knows what it's trying to do. If you're that target audience, you're that Deadpool audience, you're gonna love this film. If you love the first movie, you're gonna love this one. This is not gonna entice anyone who didn't like the first film or is not interested in the superhero genre at all.
well, hold on. So let me ask you this question here, right?
All right, go ahead.
So now, this is what I'm trying to understand, man, is because I'm sure Woody Harrelson is hamming it up, man.
Yeah, he's having a good time. You could tell he's having a good. He could play this role in his sleep. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing I want to mention here is like, I do. This is what I know from watching the first Venom movie. This wasn't a scenario of like an X-Men Dark Phoenix where you're watching the movie and you could tell that the people in the movie didn't want to be in the movie.
No, this is far from the case. They're all hamming it up. They're all having a good time. I like that they know what they're doing with this one. They at least know we're going for cheesecake, and they're aiming for that cheesecake. Right. So everyone's having a good time with it. You got to be out your mind to take this kind of thing seriously. Like you said, the Lethal Protector is not good source material. You know what I'm saying? The source material is not that great either, you know? Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Without Spider-Man, we can't get Spawn as Venom. We can't get Venom as Spawn. That wouldn't work. That would be box office toxicity, if that's even a way to describe something. But
Hmm.
what I'm gonna ask you here, what I wanted to kind of say here is like, is Woody Harrelson as Venom doing any? Is it fun okay? Obviously, it's fun, but I'm sure that it's not memorable.
It's not very is it better than Topher Grace in Spider-Man 3? Sure. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, yeah, he's got the look. Yes, he's hamming it up. He's doing the buddy cop routine, so to speak, with the Venom symbiote.
Well,
Um
no, I'm talking about with Woody Harrelson as Carnage. My bad,
oh,
not
Woody
Venom.
Harrelson
Carnage.
is Carnage? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Is any of this, considering that this is a one-off and we're never going to see Carnage again, at least for a very long time? Like, think about how long it took us to where we got to see Carnage in a movie at all. And the fact that, this is a one-off, is the portrayal of this character something that is going to cross over? Is this just going to be a footnote in a movie that you enjoy one time and don't really need to watch? The next time you watch Venom 2, you'll be watching it in clips on YouTube. Like, was there anything brought to the table with his portrayal of Cletus Cassidy that you can take home with you and come back to think on it like, damn, Woody Harrelson really did his thing? Or was it just kind of one of them things where, okay, well, it happened. This was as good as Carnage ever could have been.
Yeah, more of the later. Yeah, this is good as Carnage is ever gonna been. There's nothing really to. He didn't break the genre. There's nothing really iconic about him as a character. I'll be honest with you. I mean, he did the role, he hammed it up, but it's not like memorable like uh like the Riddler and Batman Forever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a Jim
Mm-hmm.
Carrey. Like you remember that performance, and it's funny as fuck. It was over the top, and you can remember it. This was kind of like very by the numbers for Woody. I'm not saying it's his fault. It's just the material, man. The Carnage symbiote looks good. And the finale in the church is a cool fight scene in the church. Got a cool visuals, lightning, thunder in the background. We have a callback to Spider-Man 3 with the bell tower. The
That's
bells
cool.
ringing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, y'all doing a little Spider-Man homage here without Spider-Man, but that's cool. I can appreciate that aspect a little bit with the callback
Mm-hmm.
there. Um, but no, honestly, the Carnage symbiote is the star of that role, not actually the performance of Woody Harrelson. I would have to say it's the special effects.
Mm-hmm.
That is the lore of that character in this film. It looks good. I think the voice is a little bit off. I feel like it's like the guy who auditioned for Venom, and he didn't get the role for Venom, and they gave him Carnage. I don't think it's unique enough. It just sounds slightly off Venom. I'm so used to the 90s animated show.
Which is amazing. And I get it. It's not fair. It's not
It's not fair.
fair.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm not saying like that's a super high standard, but I like how in that they made a more distinguished voice from Venom's. Like it's more higher pitched, it's more Joker-esque. And in
Mm-hmm.
this
More,
film,
it's more demonic.
more demonic, right? And this one doesn't have that demonic feel. It just feels like, okay, this is like a little bit of a slightly off pitch version of Venom's voice acting. So yeah, man. I think one of the most iconic scenes in the film is when Cletus doesn't have the symbiote suit anymore, and he's kind of like, "You didn't tell them, Eddie, the whole story that I killed my mom, and then because I was abused, and this and this and that." And then uh, Venom symbiote says, "Fuck this guy," and just eats him.
Oh man. So they got their one F word off at the
Right.
best moment in this PG-13 movie, huh?
Yeah, they saved it for laugh. I got a laugh out of that one. That was a good moment. The Venom suit was like, "Fuck this guy," and just eats him right there in the spot near the end. So that was a fun moment right there. They got the one off. I mean, honestly, man, this is You know what I'm saying? The first film I would give like a 4 or 5 out of 10. This was like a 6. This is, if you like that Deadpool comedy, this is your, this is something you enjoy. That cheesecake thing. There's nothing wrong with cheesecake. I think the only thing that was missing with this was like some seductive shots of she venom or something like that to get the complete sweetness of cheesecake.
Was
Um,
there an appearance from She Venom? Did She Venom actually pop up?
No, they hinted at it, and then she said, "No, that was gross. I'm never doing that again." So they actually had a little self acknowledgement that of the scene that took place in the first movie. So
Does
she
does
got
Eddie Brock?
possessed, but she
My
didn't
bad.
get the symbiote suit. She got possessed, but she carried venom, but it didn't fully transform her.
Okay, did Eddie Brock get the girl at the end of the movie?
No, he didn't, because he's a
Oh,
loser in life and all this and this and that, and he fucks up all his relationships, whatever. That's kind of the theme of the film. But no, she stuck with her fiance. Oh well, she got engaged and she stuck with her fiance, and that was
mm.
that. She put her foot down, saying, despite all this, no, we're not getting back together.
Oh
My
man, that's
fiance.
hilarious. That's hilarious right there,
He
dog.
didn't get the girl. Nah, man, he didn't get the girl.
That's I ain't gonna lie to you. That's pretty funny right there, bro.
They
So they went against the cliche there, man. So
did. They did. At least for that.
so and this is interesting to me. The thing that's interesting to me as it relates to Venom and just this whole enterprise that Sony has kind of embarked on here. I like that I like that they're willing to put it on the line. I like that they're willing to not take this too seriously. I like that Tom Hardy is committing to this role the same way that he's committed to more serious type performances. I like that. Uh, um, there's just something about this that just feels so much like, okay, are we ever going to get to the point? Because I don't know if I've seen this yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Hmm.
know if Venom, even though that movie made a lot of money and Eminem put out a terrible song to commemorate that movie in 2018.
Venom, gonna get him.
That's,
Yeah.
oh man, wow.
Hey, but hey, you know what? I can't even lie, man. That hits that demographic, man. It hits that
It,
demographic, and it fits the theme of the movie. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's a good match.
So,
It's a good
but
match.
this is the thing that I'm wondering here though.
Uh huh.
Has Venom has been I don't know that Venom has crossed I don't think Venom has crossed over into that mainstream popularity yet. You know what I'm saying? I still don't see people at the gym wearing Venom t-shirts. I
Hmm.
still don't see that. I haven't seen that yet. The same way that I see guys wearing the Captain America Shield t-shirts at the gym or seeing the kids wearing the Iron Man gear or anything like that. I still feel as though this character is relatively underground. Like this isn't like when the Suicide Squad came out where there was that big hot topic kind of costume push.
Right.
So
Right.
we talk about cheesecake. Is it still better served for this character to remain as an underground kind of thing that we can enjoy and laugh at, or do you think that the goal is to try to get Venom into that mainstream popularity level of some of these other superheroes that we're seeing? Because in my opinion, I think the best route is to keep Venom underground, dog. It's better to keep
Mm.
it underground to me. What do you think about that?
What I feel about that is it better left underground? I mean, the first movie almost made $1 billion, and the second movie, let's just say, if we weren't in the pandemic era, it probably followed the same way. If not, it might have earned more. Who knows? You know, what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It still made a good return on the first weekend. So, with all that speaking, man, I really feel like they're attempting to make him mainstream. Definitely with the spoiler alert. I'll do a spoiler alert later with the post credit scene. I think they're sowing the seeds to have him crossover. They want him to be a main eventer. He's a upper midder card, and they wanted to put him
Mhm.
on the main event. I think
I
they got
see.
plans to do that. Um, I I think they got plans to do that, but right now I think he's in a safe zone. He's in a cruise control with the underground, so to speak. Not quite popping like the Avengers and Spider-Man and the rest of them. Or even getting that pop that Deadpool got from the first movie. So he's on his way, but I'm not sure how much, because again, it's only this material. How far can you go with this material? I don't know. You know what I'm
This is it
saying?
right here.
This is it's very thin material.
Yep, this is
So
it right here. This is the last one that they get, bro. This is the last one that they get on the house, man.
yeah, I agree, man. And then let's talk about. I told you, well, spoiler. I talked to you about the post credit scene,
Okay.
and
Yep.
yeah, let's get it because I actually wasn't spoiled about this online, and I think again, this is that internet age of always knowing and dissecting shit. I stayed away from the spoilers because I just wanted to go in this and have fun, and it definitely made a difference viewing this post credit scene of at the end of the film, Eddie and Venom go to the islands and they're on a vacation and they say they're gonna fight crime in this island resort, whatever area. So they're in this pretty shady ass hotel watching Hispanic drama on TV and the Venom
Telenovela.
yeah, like some Telemundo type shit. And they're just talking, and this Venom symbiote's like, "You have no idea what I know. The knowledge that I have for thousands of years will destroy your mind. Here, I'll give you a taste." And he taps into his brain, and then all of a sudden, we see sort of that a little bit of that Doctor Strange magic happening in like the WandaVision thing happening in their environment for a couple seconds, and then boom, they're in the same room, but it's a nice high class tropical resort. Bed's clean, the light is shining, the TV's like HD and shit now. And Eddie's like, "What the fuck?" You know, he's like, "What just happened?" And then we hear J. Jonah Jameson's voice on the TV, and we see the same clip that played at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home with the Peter Parker reveal. And they get closer to the TV, and Eddie's just confused, and then the Venom symbiote's like, "This guy," and he licks the TV screen as you see Peter Parker unmasked on the TV screen. And then that's the big that's the big reveal. So Venom has either A, officially entered the MCU, or B, Spider-Man has officially exited the MCU after No Way Home. Either or.
All right, let's chop this up here. So, first question I got for you, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so in this scene, is the symbiote outside of Eddie Brock's body? Are
Yeah,
they
like
like?
an attached head, like a side head.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, so with that being said, before we even chop this up, I'm gonna say, mission accomplished for Sony. Mission accomplished. It took them putting their nuts on the table and bringing back $1 billion to the house and an Academy Award, either win or nomination for the big fish to really acknowledge and notice whatever it was that they were doing.
Yep.
So now, regardless of whether this is a good movie or a bad movie, they got two of them on the scoreboard to where, they can actually hang their head or hold their heads up high and be like, no, we're not going out like no band leader. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're not going out like no band leader. You know what I'm saying? We had a strategy and it worked, right?
Right.
So with this scene right here, my personal opinion, whew, whoa, okay. Do you believe which scenario is more likely? Is it more likely that Venom enters the MCU or that Spider-Man exits the MCU based off of numbers, analytics, hype, all of these behind the scenes things here? Which scenario is more likely in your personal opinion?
Whew, man, that's a tough question. I mean, the fact that we even got to this point is crazy in itself, in a nutshell. Man, from all the box office returns and the licensing and all the accolades and money involved, man, I think Sony Man, I think either or, man, it's tough. It's tough. I think Kevin Feige is willing to play with Venom and Venom alone. I don't think Morbius comes with him. I don't think Kraven the Hunter comes with him. I think they might play with him for like a one movie Venom 3 kind of deal. And then maybe the multiverse or whatever can go reset back to normal. And then Venom can get his Spider-Man, his white spider logo on his chest, and kind of lead the rest of the Spider-Man universe. It's a tough question, man. It can go either way, 50-50, man. You flip a coin because Sony is in their bag right now.
Yep.
If Sony has the confidence to say, hey, we can pull you out and literally make our Spider-Man universe the one we failed with Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield.
Yep.
If they can do that, and a simple explanation is like the multiverse was broken and then we restored it, but Peter Parker's gone. He didn't come back.
Yep.
That's a simple explanation. I don't see Disney wanting to give up the Spider-Man name and branding because it sells so much merchandising and shit like that. So I don't know, man. That's why the moment is such a crazy moment because you're just like, this shit actually happened.
Yep.
This shit, like someone pulled the trigger on something, and I don't know what the fuck is going on right now, So,
because not to interrupt you, brother, my bad.
Go ahead, man, you good?
It's significant because we didn't get that. We were never gonna get that with the X-Men.
No,
we were never gonna get that. 20th Century Fox kind of did their selves in and ruined the X-Men property to where there was nothing left but Deadpool. When Deadpool 2 came out, that came out at a time before, everything that ended up happening had already happened. So I get what you're saying. This is a unique moment because there are so many different ways that it can branch off, and you don't know exactly how that's going to end up playing out. In my personal opinion, I think that I agree with you. We're probably more likely to see Tom Hardy, because Tom Hardy is a guy that has a lot of cachet. He has a name and value and all of that. And I think that the fact that he's the one playing this part brings credibility to the character, and it also is something that I think those guys over there would be interested in incorporating into some of the other things that they have going on. The fact that Sony is still able to navigate these choppy waters with Spider-Man being their end point into the MCU, they could potentially have two of those now with Tom Hardy as Venom. Eventually, I do think that at some point we're going to get Venom as a Spider-Man villain in a Spider-Man movie opposing Tom Holland. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's going to happen, but it is going to happen. If anything, that scene in that end credit scene tells you that that's going to happen. Whether or not you see Venom interacting with Captain Marvel or a Doctor Strange or a Scarlet Witch, all of that is non-consequential because all that really needs to happen is having him interact with Spider-Man. That's all that needs to happen. We don't ever need to see Venom associated with any characters from the MCU as long as we get the clash between Spider-Man and Venom in either a Venom movie or a Spider-Man movie. Mission accomplished as far as that is concerned there. They can do that without, I think, any kind of clearance from the MCU. The only issue that they needed to clear, the only hurdle that they needed to clear is getting us interested enough to want to see Venom opposing Spider-Man in a live action movie. The only question that remains now is can they reel in those guys across the street into working something out to where this next Spider-Man movie after Far From Home can incorporate Venom and bridge the gap with the MCU. That's the only hurdle that they got to clear. And I think that it is more possible now than it was probably 3 years ago when this first movie came out.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt, man. That's very well put and said, man. Because Venom 1 flops, we're not having this discussion right now.
Nope,
We're not
not at all.
getting this post-credit scene. This
Nope.
end of discussion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, the character of Peter Parker, as he stands right now, he's gonna have to level up. He's gonna have to level up to stand any kind of chance against this Venom, man, because there's gonna be no Mr. Stark to help you out. There's gonna be no Shield to help you out. Well, I don't know. Maybe they will have Shield help him out, but
And
Peter
it's cool
Parker,
if they want to do that. It's cool
Yeah.
if they want to do that. But I get what you're saying, though. It shouldn't be that, though. It should be classic Spider-Man versus
Man.
Venom.
right. No, Tony Stark has some secret files that I access, and now I have. It should be mano to mano, Peter Parker versus Eddie Brock in a nice confrontation.